Cowboys fans are doing double takes after Maxx Crosby's name suddenly entered the Dallas conversation. A recent comment from the star pass rusher is spreading fast, sparking wild speculation about what it could mean and whether there's real interest, or just off-season smoke. The wording, the timing, and the reaction have ignited debate across the league. Was it a compliment, a hint, or something much bigger? One thing's certain, Crosby's words just poured gasoline on the Cowboys rumor fire. Cowboys Nation, stop everything you're doing right now, because what just came out about Maxx Crosby has the entire NFL world buzzing, and Dallas fans are losing their minds. This is not a drill. This is not clickbait. And this is not some random internet rumor. Maxx Crosby just said something that has people in Dallas connecting dots they never thought would connect, and if you listen closely to his words, this could be one of the biggest Cowboys off-season stories we've seen in years. Let's set the stage. The Dallas Cowboys have been searching for one thing over and over again, year after year, playoff after playoff. A true game-wrecking edge rusher who doesn't just pressure quarterbacks, but changes games when it matters most. Someone offenses have to game plan for all week. Someone who can take over in January. And now suddenly, Maxx Crosby's name is being whispered, then talked about, then shouted across Cowboys Twitter. It all started during a recent interview when Crosby was asked about his future, his legacy, and what kind of team he wants to be remembered playing for. He didn't mention the Raiders by name. He didn't shut the door. Instead, he paused. He smiled. And then he said something that made people rewind the clip multiple times. He talked about wanting to play for a team that is all in on winning, a team with a massive fanbase. A team where expectations are championship or bust every single year. Cowboys fans immediately knew. That description fits Dallas like a glove. No team in the NFL has higher expectations, more pressure, or a louder spotlight than the Dallas Cowboys. And when Crosby added that he loves playing on the biggest stages, in prime time, with the world watching, the speculation exploded. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Maxx Crosby didn't just talk in vague terms. He specifically praised teams that aren't afraid to spend money when they know the window is open. Cowboys fans, tell me that doesn't sound like a message. Because for years, Dallas has been criticized for playing it safe, for drafting well but hesitating to make the nuclear move. And suddenly you have one of the most feared pass rushers in football publicly admiring teams that go for it. And let's be real for a second. Maxx Crosby in a Cowboys uniform is terrifying. Pairing him with Micah Parsons would instantly create the most dangerous pass rushing duo in the NFL. Offensive coordinators would lose sleep. Quarterbacks would rush throws. Entire game plans would collapse. Micah already draws double teams on almost every snap. Imagine sliding protection to Parsons and then realizing Maxx Crosby is screaming off the other edge untouched. This is why fans are freaking out. Because for once, this doesn't feel impossible. It feels like one of those moments where the stars might actually align. Now let's talk about why this rumor has real fuel behind it. The Raiders are in transition. New leadership questions. Roster uncertainty. And Crosby has always been vocal about one thing, winning. He's a grinder. A culture guy. A tone setter. He doesn't want to waste years of his prime rebuilding. And Dallas? Dallas believes its window is now. Dak Prescott in his prime. CeeDee Lamb at the top of his game. A defense that's one elite piece away from being unstoppable. And listen closely to what Crosby said next. He mentioned that he wants to play meaningful football in December and January every year. That line hit Cowboys fans hard. Because despite playoff frustrations, Dallas is almost always in the hunt late in the season. Primetime games. Division races. National spotlight. Everything Crosby claims he thrives in. Now before anyone says this is just fans reaching, here's the thing. Maxx Crosby could have shut this down instantly. He could have said, I'm a Raider for life. He didn't. He could have said, I don't think about other teams. He didn't. Instead, he left the door wide open. And in today's NFL, when stars speak like that, it usually means one thing: conversations are happening behind the scenes. Let's talk football fit. Dan Quinn built this Cowboys defense around speed, aggression, and chaos. Maxx Crosby is chaos. High motor. Relentless pursuit. Non-stop pressure. He doesn't take plays off. That's why Micah Parsons has openly praised him before. These are two players cut from the same cloth. Violent effort. Elite conditioning. Leadership by example. Now imagine a third and long situation in a playoff game. Crowd roaring at AT&T Stadium. Micah Parsons lined up on one side. Maxx Crosby on the other. You don't blitz. You don't disguise. You just let them hunt. That's how championships are won. Of course, the big question is money. Maxx Crosby is not cheap. But this is where things get interesting. The Cowboys have major contracts already locked in. They know what their cap looks like. And Jerry Jones has said multiple times that when he believes the team is close, he's willing to push chips to the center of the table. Cowboys fans have been waiting for that moment. This could be it. And let's not ignore the marketing side. Maxx Crosby in Dallas would be massive. Jersey sales. National headlines. Primetime games. This is the kind of move that redefines the Cowboys' identity overnight. Suddenly, Dallas isn't just talented. They're feared. Now here's the wildest part. Insiders have started quietly suggesting that players around the league are watching what Dallas does this offseason very closely. The perception is that if Dallas lands one more elite defender, this team becomes a legitimate Super Bowl threat, not just a regular season powerhouse. Maxx Crosby knows this. Players talk. Agents talk. This league runs on conversations. And when Crosby said he wants to be remembered as someone who changed a franchise, Cowboys fans immediately asked the question, what franchise needs one final piece more than Dallas? Think about the narrative. For years, critics have said the Cowboys can't close. That they crumble under pressure. That their defense disappears in big moments. Maxx Crosby directly addresses that criticism. He's built for chaos. Built for pressure. Built for hostile environments. And built for moments where one play changes everything. Now I want to be clear. This is not confirmed. No deal has been announced. But the fact that we're even talking about this tells you how loud Crosby's words were. Because in the NFL, stars are usually careful. Very careful. And when someone like Maxx Crosby starts describing a situation that perfectly matches one team, people notice. Cowboys Nation, imagine the message this sends to the locker room. Imagine the message it sends to the rest of the NFC. Dallas is done waiting. Done developing only through the draft. Done hoping things fall into place. They're going to take what they want. And if this happens, the Cowboys defense instantly becomes the most talked about unit in football. Micah Parsons, Maxx Crosby, Trayvon Diggs, Darren Bland. That's not just a defense. That's a statement. So now the question becomes, will Jerry Jones pull the trigger? Will Dallas finally make the move that shocks the league? Or will this be another what could have been moment fans talk about for years? One thing is certain. Maxx Crosby's words were not accidental. And Cowboys fans heard them loud and clear. If you think Maxx Crosby in Dallas would break the NFL, smash that like button. If you think this is just the beginning of a wild Cowboys offseason, subscribe right now because you do not want to miss what's coming next. And comment below, do you want Maxx Crosby in a Cowboys uniform, or is this a move that's too risky? Because if this happens, the NFL will never look at the Dallas Cowboys the same way again.